Hello, this is Andreas from Nordic Tarot, and I'm here with a love reading for the second half of October. And I just want to mention, as always, that before we get into the readings, that these readings are general and they won't, and really they can't resonate with everyone. So I really hope there is a message for you, but if there is not, I'm sorry. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy your reading. Hey Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising. This time around, your underlying energy is the Two of Wands, and the underlying energy is the energy that's kind of permeating throughout the entire reading. Like it kind of informs the other cards. Like, what's this reading about? In a way, along with some of the other cards. So the Two of Wands is a card of choice. This is about picking a path that you come to a crossroads, and now it's kind of, where do I go now? And if we look at your problem circumstance, or the heart of the reading here, you have the Ten of Pentacles, which is about legacy. So is that what you're currently in the process of picking a path toward? Like, what is your legacy? And with the Ten of Pentacles, it's the three S's of the Ten of Pentacles, which is stability, security, and support. And often the Ten of Pentacles can also have to do with family, it's more like a group kind of thing sometimes. And what is your legacy? Is it, some people leave a legacy behind of their thoughts, maybe in the form of a book. Some people, maybe their emotions in the form of music. Some people create a family and have children, and that's their legacy. Some people create a company, and that's the legacy they leave behind. But this is kind of like, it's this stable, like, this is what I've worked toward, and this is what, in a way, like, where do you want your life to culminate? What is it? I don't want to say that it's the result of your life or anything, but, at least keep the word of legacy in mind, I guess. Like, that's the kind of thing this card talks about. And it's crossed by the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is like a new project. It's excitement and passion and like, oh, I really want to do this. It's enthusiasm about something. And it's, this new passionate start of something. But the fact that it's crossing the Ten of Pentacles like this, and you do have the Two of Wands in your underlying energy, I feel like this is you not knowing. Like, this is the Ace of Wands that you have not picked yet in the Two of Wands. That's, like I said, then that's pretty much what this reading is about, right? So this can be, since this is a love life reading, this can be like, have you not met anyone yet? Have you not decided, like, this is the kind of person I want to be with? Or maybe you are with someone, you're like, well, I don't really know what the choices I want to make here. I don't really know what's going on. Like, the thing is, with the Two of Wands, I don't see it as such a severe choice, or it's not as difficult of a choice as, for example, the Two of Swords. Now, the Two of Swords is a difficult decision. That's a decision where we either don't have enough information to make a choice, or it's a choice we don't really want to look at. It's a choice we don't want to make sometimes. But the thing with the Two of Wands is that you know where you came from. You've walked down this path, you're now at a crossroads. You can pick one of these wands and one of these paths, and when you go down that path, you know where you came from. I always feel like there's a possibility to go back and change. Like, you're not forced to walk down that path all the time. Like, not all choices are like that. Sometimes we can kind of double back. It's like, oh, here's the crossroads, I'll pick the other one. But in your past, you had the energy of the Fool, and the Fool is a new beginning. This is like taking a leap of faith, doing something despite not having all the information, and like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm quite excited to just do something despite not knowing. And I mean, I know Virgos, and the Virgos I know, they have everything under control, they know what's up, they know the details, they, keep track of so many things. I feel like the Fool energy might be quite difficult for Virgos to deal with sometimes, because of the leap of faith kind of element, right? But of course, you still start new things. I just feel like Virgos appreciate having all the cards on the table before starting something new. So it doesn't have to be the leap of faith aspect, but there is definitely the beginning of something new here. It's like a new kind of adventure, or a new path in life. So maybe you did start something new, and now you've come to a crossroads again with the Two of Wands, but maybe the choice is different this time. Maybe now you don't have the full energy with you, so maybe starting something new or picking that path is not as easy. And that kind of full energy brought you to the present energy of the Queen of Cups. And as a Virgo, you are one of the three earth elements, along with Taurus and Capricorn. And the Queen of Cups is a water sign, so that would be a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. But of course, you can still show up as the Queen of Cups even though you are an earth energy, so this might still be you. And I know that it's a queen, but even if you're a man or someone with a lot of male energy, in these broader general readings, you can still show up as a queen. It's more about the energy of the card than it is the labeled gender. And the Queen of Cups is very intuitive, and, she dreams, and she's very emotional. And I think out of all I would say the Queen of Cups is the tarot reader of all the queens, because she is so intuitive. And, she's very in touch with her emotions. Now, the only thing about the Queen of Cups is that she can be prone to kind of getting lost in thoughts of love. Like, I think most of us know, or at least know of someone who's, one of those romantics that just kind of get lost in just even the idea of romantic things, or the idea of love. So that's only that's just one little, warning thing about her, that sometimes when you do have this kind of energy, you might have to, check yourself a little bit. And I feel like Virgos would be very good at that. But of course, this Queen of Cups might just be someone you're dealing with. And as an earth energy, let's say you are a Virgo woman, for example, and you're straight, then that would mean that your partner, even if they are a fire sign or an air sign or whatever, they would show up as the King of Pentacles when they are your king. But when it comes to love and all these things, if you are the Queen of Cups, then you can be the Queen of Cups in a relationship. And then your King of Cups would be someone who, the person you're in love with, for example. I hope that makes sense. So, this Queen of Cups might be someone that you're in love with, for example, or this can be someone who's in love with you and kind of coming in and wanting to be with you. And that kind of energy is separate from whatever element they are, actually. But then this kind of energy in the future then, and the future is a potential energy. It's not set in stone, especially when it's a minor arcana, right? We are free will beings, and we can make different choices and act in different ways, and things change. The future is not set in stone. But in the future, you have the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is a card that sometimes speaks of, betrayal and, feeling stabbed in the back. And those are some pretty nasty, awful things to have to feel. But it's also a card that speaks of the worst being over. Now everything, it's, culminated. And now you are at the end of the Ten of Swords journey, and that cycle is done. Yes, it was tough, and it ended in this, betrayal kind of thing, right? But the worst is over. So even if there wasn't a betrayal, or even if there was no backstabbing happening, I feel like, okay, all the difficult things you've gone through, the worst is over. Now it's time to, shrug these swords off and stand up, and we're ready to go, right? And I really like the Ten of Swords in this deck, because it looks like the woman is already on her way. She's about to shrug and, stand up. It's okay, back on the horse, here we go. And, the worst is over. That can be that maybe you've been having a really difficult time making this choice. I don't necessarily see this choice as being very difficult to make, but I feel like it's a very important decision. But then the crowning energy, or the advice card for you, is the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands, this is someone who's been going for a long time. This is someone who, feels battered and bruised, and they're oh goodness, I've been doing this for a long time. Maybe this is where doubts start setting in. Maybe this is where things are starting to get really difficult when it comes to this Wands journey that you're on. And it looks to me like with the Two of Wands and the Ace of Wands here in the South position, it looks like it's a very wandy journey for you. They seem to be very much in focus. And the Nine of Wands, I definitely don't want to make it sound as if you're going to give up and you're just sick of it and you don't want to do it. This is someone who is still doing it. They are still on the path. But this might be the biggest hump, you know? This might be the biggest obstacle. And it's really tough, which is understandable. Of course, you've been doing this for a long time. And, you know, maybe you're feeling like you're not getting any results. And like asking yourself, like, why am I doing this again? But I would also say that when it's in this position, the crowning placement, then it's kind of saying like you are so close. Like you're on 9 of Wands out of 10. Like you're almost at the end. And of course, if the issue here is that you don't know which one to pick here out of the Two of Wands, when you do pick one of the ones, I'm not saying you have to, you can stay where you are as well. You don't have to move forward. But when you do pick one of these wands, then you will have the 10 of Wands, which means you're on the last leg of the journey. So if the cards are saying you're on the 9, you're almost there, if you then pick one of the ones, then boom, you have 10 of Wands and you're almost done, you're almost at the end. And then your feelings, Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is a victory. I feel like you kind of know what to do, even if it's a really huge decision, it's something that's like requiring a lot of thought before you move. Then, like I said, in your feelings, Ace of Swords, it's a victory through the truth. You have the truth. There is this victory, and it's like following what is true. And that can be what is true to you. It doesn't need to be a universal truth. It can be your personal truth. And one thing we have to remember with our personal truths is that we can't really expect our truths to be someone else's truths as well. Like, for example, my truth might be that, let's pick something silly. Like, my truth is that I need my partner to call me every night before I go to bed and say goodnight to me. Like, that's not even that serious, but let's say it's like that. But what if I then meet a partner and they say like, no, that doesn't really work for me, but then I know in myself that that's my truth, that's what I need, and that works for me. I can't expect them to do that for me. And it's this kind of thing, right? Like, your truth is valid and your truth is your truth. And it just, I mean, you have it in your feelings, so you know what the truth is here. You know what your truth is. Like, even regarding this choice, I think it might be a big choice, so it's kind of daunting maybe, but I still feel like you know what the choice is that you want to make or need to make. And I kind of feel like that with this truth in your feelings, then maybe this is something that someone's questioned a lot in the past, like, well, I can't accept that, or I don't think you should do that, or whatever. But then it just feels so right for you. And of course, you put yourself first in a lot of situations where you kind of need to take care of your own truth as well. Oh God, I'm saying truth so much, but I really hope this is making sense. But then in your outside influences, you do have the 8 of Swords, and this is a card that speaks of being stuck. And I feel like it's kind of like a warning here, because the 8 of Swords is being stuck in your own head. This is not knowing how to maneuver. This is not knowing what steps to take to get out of the way you're thinking at the moment. And like, I personally have a tendency to overthink things. I feel like that's all I do sometimes. And that's kind of what the 8 of Swords is also, like overthinking, getting kind of overwhelmed by your own thoughts. And maybe, you know, then that's also connected to the choice aspect here with the 2 of Wands. Is there some overthinking going on? I'm not sure there is right now, but the outside influence, that's an energy that surrounds this reading. It's all around it, and it's also an energy that is affecting the reading currently, or your energies, but it might not be something you've noticed yet. So I think that's something that's very important to look out for. Like, if you just mull things over in your head over and over and over, then you won't take that step, you won't make that choice because you're so stuck in your own head, right? But in your hopes and fears, that's the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is the soulmate card. This is happy memories from the past. This is nostalgia. It can sometimes go a bit far and you get rose-tinted glasses, remembering things as being better than they actually were. But this can also be someone coming back from the past. This might be someone you knew from ages ago and they're coming back. Like, is the Queen of Cups someone like that? Is that someone you know already? Or it can also be that since it's in your hopes and fears, maybe, you're thinking back on how things used to were and you kind of want to get back to that sort of place. Because this, like I said, this is looking back fondly at something. It's not that it worries you or anything like that at all. If anything, it kind of brings you peace in a way. But then your outcome, it looks like coming home. The Knight of Pentacles is a very Virgo kind of energy. Because the Knight of Pentacles is diligent. He pays attention to the details. He makes sure everything is like it should be before taking the next step. And I would say if the King or Queen of Pentacles showed up here, I'd be like, oh, you're feeling very in yourself. And, you're very grounded within yourself and you're coming back to your own power. But I feel like the Knight of Pentacles is specifically talking about Virgo. Because I would say that's stuff about any earth sign with the other two. But I wouldn't say that for a Taurus or a Capricorn if the Knight of Pentacles came up. Like, the Knight of Pentacles is such a Virgo kind of energy. Like, very diligent, hardworking, like, again, paying attention to the details, like all the stuff that you're so good at. But I want to move on to the Oracle cards. And from the Oracle of E, the card you pulled is number 27, Magnanimous Me. This is the time for your true nature to bloom like a cactus in the spring. You are nothing but a big ball of love, and the only thing you really want is to love up on everyone. This is a good time to get in touch with the higher truth and free your generous spirit. Kindness, anyone. So, again, this Queen of Cups might just be you. Like, the Queen of Cups loves, she is so full of love and emotions. And this could definitely be you. And then this higher truth kind of thing, like, it is talking about truth, like you have in your feelings, the Ace of Swords, so you're, feels like you're already connected to that kind of thing. And I just feel like Magnanimous Me really speaks to this reading and kind of what you want in a way. But then from the Wisdom of the Oracle, the card you pulled was number 50, No Place Like Home. And the essential meanings are authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your own skin. And I feel like this speaks to the Ten of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. And Six of Cups to an extent as well. Like the Ten of Pentacles, that is creating home. That is what you create. This is like you and the legacy of your life. The Knight of Pentacles, like I said, very much a Virgo kind of energy, and that's like something you can make such great use out of. And then the Six of Cups, that can be you thinking about home and thinking about places where you did fit in. And if you are thinking about that kind of stuff, then I think that would help kind of understanding the different variables that makes those memories so fond to you. And then that's maybe something that you can then create for yourself in this Ten of Pentacles situation. So I think you have fantastic things here. You have some great advice and some very interesting card combinations. I think the Ace of Swords in your feelings is great. I feel like the Knight of Pentacles in your outcome is fantastic, like coming back to yourself, coming home to yourself. And I think you're gonna be able to potentially make something great of all these energies that you have surrounding yourself at the moment. So that was your reading for mid-October. I really hope that was a message for you, and like I said, these readings are general and it's kind of impossible for it to resonate with everyone. But if it did resonate, or if it didn't resonate and you want some more answers, you have some questions about other aspects or areas of your life, maybe there's some situation you're in, then you can contact me through my email, which you'll find below in the description box. I'll give you some information about prices and the kind of readings I do. And as always, if you are wondering what kind of decks I've used or anything like that, you'll find most of the information down below in the information box as well. I know I keep changing things up and doing things differently, but I'm trying to find my way of doing it and kind of what suits me, and as well as input from my viewers, of course. But until next time, I hope everything goes well with the messages that were there for you, and if nothing else, I'll see you next time.